Wowza, okay, so if you know me and my channel, you know that I absolutely love the Turok franchise, like the video games and the comics. I mean, it's my favorite media franchise of all time, so of course I like it, but I'm gonna move the camera down. There we go. And I recently got into repainting. I've just gotten, like, much better at it now, and I decided for one of my first ones to make the Schleich Utahraptor into a Turok 2 Raptor, I guess. The same color scheme as it, I guess. I really like how this turned out. It's obviously not the best. It's not, amazing. But I really like it. It's the best repaint I've done so far. I just really like it. Now, you might be saying, Down on a Fender, that's a perfectly good Schleich figure. And didn't you use that one in the most dinosaur documentary you'll ever see? Well, not only do I have another Schleich Utahraptor, I have two Schleich Utahraptors. Yeah, there's kind of a long story behind this, and I'm not even going to get into it. So anyways, I'm going to get into how I repainted this guy and just the whole process of doing it. So I first started out with just drenching the whole thing in tan, which is easier said than done because tan isn't like an easy color like brown. You can just slap it on and you don't need to do anything more. But for tan, you really have to get into like extra coats and like especially with some of the scales and stuff, you had to get into like each individual one. So it took a couple coats, like 2, 3, something like that. But I eventually got it to all tan. And then I went into the feathers on the back. Now, I started out with this kind of dark-ish tan, or no, brown color. And I think it looked fine, but of course I was going to add dry brushing. And I mixed some paints together. And I was trying to go for like a dark brown, but it kind of turned into this like sickly green color. And I said, fuck it, let's use it. And I dry brushed it with the green. And it turned out surprisingly good. I really like how it turned out, as you can see. And then I went into the dry brushing. I took some dark black, or I think it was black. And I just went over with some dry brushing over the scales and all that. Just to, bring out the details and bring a little more life, I guess, to it. The feet were... I forgot to mention, the feet are kind of a pain. I hate painting feet. It's just really finicky, especially if I support on a base, it's just really finicky, but, I made it work. And it's obviously very nicely done here. Oh yeah, I completely forgot to, oh my god, he just fell over. I completely forgot to mention how I ripped the arms off of this guy just to make it easier to paint, because, if I'm painting this guy and I'm gonna knock into the arms and get paint on my fingers, that obviously wouldn't be good. So I just popped them off, because you can do that with a lot of Schleich figures. And yeah, I mean, it works. It worked definitely, and the arms look pretty nicely. Anyways, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, dry brushing. So after the dry brushing, I went into all of these stripes, because the Turok 2 Raptor has a bunch of these like black, grayish stripes, and I think, yeah, they're okay. Like, I could have done better. I think I could have blended them in a lot more, especially on the arms. I'm not a huge fan of the stripes on the arms. On the face, they actually look pretty nice. But I try to go with some of the patterns that the Turok 2 Raptor had. And I think I did pretty good with just, the overall patterning, but just the execution was not really what I would want, I suppose, but I still think it still looks cool nonetheless. I didn't actually put any on the lower legs, which I might actually do after this video if I get sick of it, but I think it looks fine without them, but maybe I'll do it eventually. And then after that, I went in with even more dry brushing because I still didn't like how the dry brushing before worked. I think I used a lighter gray for the dry brushing this time, and yeah, it worked better, I would say. As you can obviously see, the scales are a lot more prominent. And then I went into the eye, and if you've repainted a dinosaur before, you know that the worst part is painting the eye, because it's so small and you could easily ruin it, and just your arm's like shaking the whole time because it's just so tiny. But for this one, I used kind of cyan blue because that's what the Turok Utahraptor had, obviously. And I really like the cyan blue on the Turok Utahraptor. I'm just gonna say it because I think it just brings out a lot more character and life to it. But anyways, I'm going on a tangent. I applied it with a toothpick, which yeah, it's probably my best option, honestly. And I think it turned out pretty well, and I'm so glad I didn't have to add a pupil, because that would have been even more harder. But the Turok Utahraptor doesn't have a pupil, so I didn't have to do that, and yeah, I think it looks pretty nice. And then after that, I think I was on to, oh yeah, I painted the claws on the feet, and I think I started on the arms first, or the hands, whatever. And yeah, I mean, not the best to paint it on. Some of it's bleeding, I think. Yeah, on this one, you can kind of see that I messed up there, but so maybe I'll touch that up after the video. But then I got obviously the feet, the toe claws and all that. And those are pretty well. I had to go with over with 2 coats on the toes and the claws, because you could still see some of the tan, and I obviously didn't want that because the Turok Utahraptor has like pitch black claws. And that was basically it. I finished that up, and I think it looks really nice. Honestly, it's like I said before, my favorite and best repaint I've ever done. But so obviously this is an example that I'm good and capable at doing a repaint. So you can comment down below if you want me to repaint something. I might do another Turok repaint. Yeah, maybe I'll do some like cool toy photography. Maybe I'll make a scene that looks like a Portavagia, which is the first level where these guys showed up. And I normally associate this kind of raptor, this Turok raptor, with the level Portavagia, obviously. So I might do photography like that, since obviously this guy is the Turok Utahraptor, which I associate with Portavagia. And if you have a specific figure that you want me to repaint, you can go ahead and comment down below. I might not have it, but if your idea is like super amazing, then I'll probably do it. I'll go out and buy that figure specifically. I'm thinking of painting this guy, the Schleich Utahraptor, because the colors just aren't the best, really. Pretty mid, and I think a good repaint would really make this guy look much better. I still don't know what color scheme. I don't know, maybe some Dinosaur King color scheme or something, but I don't know. That's a video for another time. I'm not gonna go too much into that, but oh my god, whoops. So yeah, my future repaints will probably be Schleich figures mostly, because I don't really care that much about Schleich, and I have a lot of Schleich figures that I could easily repaint and not care a lot. But yeah, so if you want me to repaint a Schleich figure, comment down below. If you have a specific idea for the Schleich Utahraptor color scheme, comment down below, obviously. And yeah, so that's about it with this video. That's the first episode of Unscripted Repaints, where I talk about my repaints unscripted. That's about it. See ya.